afternoon, folks. Big Bo with RVs with Big Bo at Parkway RV Center. And guys, guess what? Just like I promised you last video, got another C. And this is another Winnebago. This is a 2017 Winnebago Minnie Winnie Model 31G, and it's another bunkhouse. This one's a kind of an upgrade over the last one I did. This one is 32 feet. 8 inches long total length. It has one slide, but guys, it has a full wall slide. Basically, the whole driver's side slides out. It's basically the equivalent of pretty much any other Class C with 2 or even 3 slide outs. So it gives you a very unique floor plan. This thing can sleep up to 10 people. It's got 17,000 miles. It's got 60 hours on the generator. Very, very nice. Just came in. And of course, it's a Winnebago, one of the best built Class C's you could buy. Still is today. You've got a one-piece seamless fiberglass roof. This unit has got a very, very expensive option you see in very few Class C's. And that is hydraulic leveling jacks. Got the HWH hydraulic leveling jacks, guys. Knee deep, well, heck, neck deep in Michelin tires. Those tires look great. We just made a long trip with it. Notice the overlapping cap on the Cabover with no windows. That's a sign of a well-built Class C, guys. No straight edges where most leak problems can occur. Of course, you've got good-looking paint job, outside television, power awning, full pass-through storage. And I like the fact that your slide is all on one side, so if you're in a tight spot or something like that, you know, you don't have to worry about having an extra 2 or 3 feet on your driver's side for a slide out. Of course, you just won't be able to use your awning, but I have been in sites before myself personally that you barely had room for one slide on one side, much less opposing slides. And look at the size of that slide out, guys. Wow, that's probably 24. I mean, I hadn't stepped it off, but I'm gonna guess that's probably a 23, 24 foot slide out. Does have a trailer hitch on the back, rated for 7,500 pounds. I do not recommend putting that much weight behind an E450 chassis. I would cap it out about 6,000 max, preferably 5 to 55 or less. One-piece fiberglass roof. You know, Winnebago actually builds all their own, 80% of their own parts in-house. Really cool if you ever get a chance to take the factory tour, if they ever start doing them again, which they may have already started again. I don't know. I haven't been up there in years, but really cool thing. They got different parts of their factory where they build furniture, cabinets. They build fiber. They got their own fiberglass shop, plastic shop. I mean, really kind of cool, guys, to go through there. And what I like about Winnebago is you can get majority of the parts directly from Winnebago. For your Winnebago, even if it's 10, 12, 15, 20 years old. Now, you can't do that with other brands. DSI, gas electric water heater, 17,000 miles and change. Just drove it here, guys. Windshield looks great. Got a few bugs still on it. We drove it about 500 something miles. Winnebago was actually the first RV manufacturer to build their own frames in-house. So everything on top of the E450 extended frame, which is built by Ford, of course. I'm talking about the floor, the ceiling, the walls, are custom built by Winnebago engineers for a 2017 Winnebago Minnie Winnie 31G. It's not an aftermarket frame shared with a Jayco designer or Fleetwood Tioga or a Thor 4 Winds or anything like that. This is designed for Winnebago and just for Winnebago. So the frame is designed hand in hand with the motorhome. The motorhome is not designed around the frame like other RV manufacturers. So what do you get with that, guys? You get a little bit better fit and finish, tighter slide out seals. You get less squeaks and rattles and a little bit less sway going down the road than you do with other brands. You know, I'm a big Winnebago fan. I have personally owned 2 of them and still consider them one of the best in its class. Let's look inside. And this just came in. We haven't washed it, haven't cleaned it, which it needs to, but they'll get around to it. All original, guys. Nothing's been modified unlike the last one. This is just how it looked when it was built. And 17,500 or 958 miles. So we'll say 18,000 miles. Dash looks great. Front cab looks great. Seats look great. Tilt cruise, power windows, power locks. Cabover. This is actually a full size, but it's a little bit bigger. It's actually closer to a queen size bed, but it's bigger than a full. So in fact, you probably use queen size sheets on it. Still got the ladder wrapped up. Probably never use this Cabover bed for sleeping, and a lot of people don't. They use it for storage. You do have a privacy curtain if you want to. The only flaw in this motorhome is right here on the seat, just in this one little spot. It's got a little bit of wear. I don't know if somebody sat down. That's not the flaking furniture. Winnebago doesn't have that issue. That's just where somebody either sat down with something in their pocket or something on their pants or shorts or whatever they were wearing, or they were sitting there doing the butt scooting boogie while they were sitting on the couch. I don't know. But they wore that down pretty good, just in that one spot. The rest of it looks fine, and the dinette cushions look fine. You know, that is obviously not worth spending $1,000 recovering this sofa, replacing it. So I'm gonna let that be. And as far as book wise, you're welcome to look this thing up on NADA. $77,000 is average retail with no added options, just adjusting for the miles. And I'm not adding for the jacks. That's $4,000 or $5,000 add-on. Got a TV over the dinette booth. Dinette booth makes a bed. You can sleep 6 up here, 4 in the back. Guys, you can carry your spouse, your kids' friends, your parents, your in-laws, your ex-spouse, their new spouse, their kids. I mean, heck, carry everybody. Pick up a couple of hitchhikers on the way. You got sleeping for everybody. Of course, if that's the situation, I think I'd leave the camper to them and find me a hotel room or a park bench or something. Probably more comfortable than with that many people in here, but you get my drift. You can carry you can sleep a lot more people than you probably ever want to have inside a 32.5-foot motorhome. Let's just say that. 7-foot tall ceilings. Refrigerator is an 8 cubic foot Norcold 2-way RV refrigerator freezer. So this can run off propane or electric. So if you're boondocking and you don't want to run your generator, you can still have a cold fridge and freezer. And the back is starting to get cold in the freezer. So right there tells me 99% chance that that thing works fine. Slide out little trays, pantry. Should have some more here. We're kind of on a slope, which, you know, I know everybody says you have to be level when you have a slide out, but if you have to be unlevel, at least have the slide out going downhill away from the RV, and that's where we're at, so it's fine. You don't have to worry about water running in or anything like that. Plus, it's a Winnebago. They seal up a lot tighter. Because of that, they build their own frames than other RV manufacturers. Countertops look great, and this is before we cleaned it up, guys. I like to show them like this when I can. 3-burner stovetop, oven, microwave, double basin sink. You know, you got a pretty good little bit of storage here. Oh, by the way, your jacks are right down here by the door, in case you doubt that it has them. And 61.8 hours on the Onan generator. You've got 2 bunks, and this is kind of cool because I've seen this on other 31Gs. It actually has hookups right here where you can put a washer and dryer, and this is factory. You know, they've got it set up where you can take the bottom bunk out and put just a combo unit washer and dryer in here if you wanted to, but that's up to you. But it's still got the bunks in it. And I thought that was something somebody rigged up, but this is the second or third 31G I've had. And in fact, I've got another one right now, a 16 model, the twin to it, with 52,000 miles. And ironically, the same price as this 17. So I'm beating myself on the price. And if you look on RV Trader, guys, besides my other one that's the same price as this, All the other 17s, or close to the 17s, are 72 grand, 78 grand, 80 grand. There's one for $90,000, and they all have more miles in the same year model as this one. So you can't beat the Parkway price. I think I proved that time and time again. But I still want you to proof me on that. Go to RV Trader, search 17 Minnie Winnie 31 G's, and just compare. You've got a walk-through bathroom with a porcelain RV toilet. You do have a vanity area right here, shower area, and this is the first time I've opened this shower, so sometimes you don't know what to expect. There we go. Those things get pulled out sometimes. You got to get them back in. But it's good now. Neo angle shower with a skylight. Not a huge shower, but even at my size, I'm 320, 6'4", I can fit in here fairly comfortable, at least for an RV shower. And we go to the rear bedroom, and you can get to this from the hallway as well. Now, I want to point out one thing. When your full wall slide, because you got to realize this whole wall is a slide out. From behind the TV right there, all the way to behind the driver. Well, you can't see it, the door's open. All the way to behind the driver's seat is in a slide out. So this hallway disappears when the slide out's in. So you lose access to your bunks, and you lose access to this hall, but you can still get to the bedroom from the bathroom. So, and you do have some USB chargers. I don't have I'm sorry, I'm out of comforters right now, but we'll get one on it. But Queen Island bed mattress. At least you can see if there's any stains on the mattress, and there's not. I've got some overhead cabinets, TV over there in the corner, closet space. Lots of drawers, a little bit of storage under the bed. Not bad. You also have a place for a small television right here. I mean, like a 19-inch. You have to be a really small TV right there for your kids in the bunk area. Of course, heck, now everybody uses tablets and phones, so what the heck's a TV anymore, you know? But yeah, guys, way under book, way under market value, no fees, $69.9. I've been showing y'all some worn out motorhomes having a 17,000 miles, 25,000 miles, 10,000 miles. I mean, I've really gotten some really neat motorhomes in these last few days, and I got more on the way. I've actually got another Class C and 2 more Class A's that came in today, and some. I've got a bunch of towables that I've kind of went to motorhomes for the last little bit. I'll have to get back on my towables pretty soon. I've had not as many fifth wheels, but I've had a bunch of travel trailers come in, and so I've had a lot of neat stuff. Not everything posted online yet, so it always pays to call if you don't see what you're looking for on our website, which is parkwayrvcenter.com. I'll put a link in the video description below you can click on if you don't want to type it in. But this unit is $69.9, and well, the only other one I found for this price was a 16 model that I've got with 52,000 miles. That's the same thing as this. So I'm basically, and this is a 17, so I'm beating myself. That's pretty bad. I'm my own worst competition. Ain't none of these dealers can touch my prices. I know that. Y'all know that. Believe me, if you don't know that, all it takes is just a quick little search on RV Trader, and you'll see real quick that you can't beat our prices. It is a haggle-free firm price, and unlike other dealers, we have no add-on fees. No dock fees, no prep fees, no freight fees, get-ready fees, franchise fees, happy camper fees. None of that stuff, guys. The only thing we have to charge, because Uncle Sam says we have to, is applicable sales tax. Just like anything else you buy, you pay sales tax on. Now, sometimes you pay it here. Sometimes you'll pay it in your home state when you tag and title at your local DMV office. Depends on your state and how you pay for it, guys. And if you need to clarify that, call and talk to one of our salespeople. Let me go ahead and clear up a very common misconception and a very common question we get asked. You never pay sales tax twice. In no situation, in any situation, do you ever pay sales tax twice buying from a dealer. You only pay it one time. You don't pay Georgia tax and then another state's tax. You never do. The only way that you could ever pay sales tax twice in any situation is if you bought an RV and let's say you live in, heck, I don't know, South Carolina. And you decide a couple years later, you know what, I'm going to move to a different state. And you have to retitle your vehicles to get the tag for that state. Well, in that situation, some states, unfortunately Georgia is one of them, will charge you the state sales tax on the current value of your vehicles, even though you paid it in South Carolina years ago. That's the only situation that an individual would ever pay sales tax twice. As far as buying from a dealer, you only pay it one time. So if you pay us sales tax, you're not going to pay your local tag office sales tax unless we under collected. Then you would be responsible for the difference. If we over collected your state sales tax, we would pay you the difference back. So you're never going to overpay, underpay for tax, and you're never going to pay twice. So that'll put you at ease right there. You know, a lot of people, we still get calls every day. Well, I'm in so-and-so state. Does that mean I have to pay Georgia tax and my state sales tax? No. You only pay sales tax one time. If you pay Georgia tax, your state will credit you that tax. If you pay cash and you come from out of state, or you provide your own financing from your own bank, you do not pay tax here. You pay it at your local DMV office, whatever your state's tax rate is. So, and every state's different, guys, so please call, and I'm not going to go over state sales tax law, but call and talk to one of my salespeople. They can answer any questions you have about that. But our prices plus applicable sales tax. If you are a Georgia resident, there is, of course, y'all know this. I've lived in Georgia my whole life. I know this. There's a highway impact fee, $100 highway impact fee, $40 to $50 tag and title fee on RVs, cars, trucks. Don't matter what you buy. Don't matter if it's for sale by owner or individual. You pay that highway. If you live in Georgia, you pay a highway impact fee on everything you buy, as well as ad valorem tax and all that stuff. But, you know, that's just part of living in this great state. There ain't no way around it. No matter how you buy it, how you pay for it, you still got to pay it. But anyway, financing is available with approved credit, down payment. We have no dealer interest rate markup. So not only are we saving you $10,000 or more on the price, we're saving you thousands of dollars because we don't charge any fees. So these other dealers add thousands of dollars in add-on dealer fees that are 100% dealer profit. They don't have to charge a dock fee. That's all profit. A prep fee, that's profit. Destination fee, that's profit. All that stuff's profit, guys. Don't let them tell you otherwise. They're just giving you a song and dance. That is all profit. Never pay any fees besides tag, title, and tax, and, you know, state fees, stuff like that. And verify those, because I've seen dealers actually charge more. For example, you know, I worked in Tennessee for a while, working at a big corporate RV dealership for a little while. And see, in the state of Tennessee, at the time when you bought a vehicle, the state sales tax in Tennessee is 9.75 at the time. But when you bought a vehicle, you only paid 7%. Well, most people in Tennessee didn't know that. And the corporate dealer I was working for was charging everybody on a vehicle sale, on an RV sale, 9.75. It only turning in 7%, which I'm assuming they only turned in 7. I don't know. I wasn't that far up. I was just a salesperson. But I noticed that because I knew that from working here, that you only charge, Tennessee only pays 7% vehicle tax at that time. And I'm not going to mention no names, but y'all know it's the most hated place in the country, so you can probably figure it out pretty quick. But they were overcharging sales tax at that time. Now, I don't know if they still do that, if they corrected it, if they fixed it and refunded everybody their money back. I'm not involved in that. I don't know. Or if they still do it or they don't do it. But I noticed that when I was there. So you need to know what your sales tax rate is for your county, your state, and any vehicle transaction, so you don't get snookered. Is that a word? Snookered? Sounds good anyway. And guys, we have delivery available service. It's $1.50 a mile one way, which with gas prices like it is, absolute bargain. And that's us paying. That's just charging you one direction. In other words, if you live 500 miles away, we're not going to charge you for a 1,000-mile trip because it's a round trip. We're just going to charge you for a 500-mile trip. So it'd be $750 instead of $1,000. And by the time we pay our driver and pay for fuel and overnight stay if needed, I mean, we're actually losing money at that. But we like to keep things easy, simple, and done. It's been $1.50 for years. We're going to do our best to keep it there as long as we can. We may have to go up soon on that per mile, but it's because, you know, we're losing too much money on delivery. But right now, you know, it's staying pretty steady. And if you got a question about this motorhome, or you want to buy it, or you want to come look at it, or you want to leave a deposit on it, or you want to have an inspector come look at it, or you want to come inspect it yourself, just pick up the phone, call 706-965-7929. Let me go ahead and go over real quick what we inspect and guarantee to work at time of sale for that $69.9 price. Because obviously our price is lowest on the internet. There's no disputing that. Y'all know that. If you don't know, start checking some of my prices on some of my videos from the last couple of weeks. Start checking some of my prices. Ain't no other dealer in town advertising stuff this far under book or in the country. Especially bunkhouses right now are bringing over retail. This is no exception. Like I said, retail in this was like, what, $77,000, and yet there's other 2017 31Gs with 50,000 miles, and dealers are asking $88,000, $90,000 for it. That 10, 12 grand over book, and I'm selling this thing for thousands under book with the optional hydraulic leveling jacks, 17,000 or 18,000 miles, and 60 hours on the generator. You know, and theirs got 3 times the miles and 20 grand more. And not counting fees that they charge that we don't. See real quick why this little lot right here sells 500 to 600 used RVs a year. You can't beat the Parkway price, guys. And it's pretty simple why we sell these things so cheap. And it's really, really simple if you think about it. You know, you go to Ripoff World, all these big corporate dealers, they got multiple locations. They got hundreds of employees at every location. They sponsor NASCAR races and college football bowl games, and they spend millions and tens of millions of dollars a year in advertising, guys. And Busy Days RV and places like that. Guys, that is just more expenses they pay that creates, it's simple economics. The more a business spends, the more overhead they have. The more overhead they have, the more profit they have to make to not only break even, but also to make a profit, because nobody works for free. You don't work for free. I don't work for free. A business doesn't buy and sell stuff just to break even. They buy and sell stuff to make money, us included. However, what makes us different is we keep our operating cost at a minimum. We don't spend millions of dollars a year in advertising. We have one location, been here since 1968, been paid for decades. We don't floor plan anything. We don't finance inventory. Guys, I just got news that a major dealer, corporate dealer, canceled 55,000 new Jayco travel trailers the other day that they had ordered. 55,000. Weren't built yet, but, and the reason I heard was because their floor plan got decreased. Even the biggest dealers in the country finance their inventory. They pay interest on that inventory until they sell it and pay off. And a floor plan is where a dealer finances. Like say I bought this and I financed what I paid for it, and every 30 days I got to make an interest payment on it. And it's pretty high. Like something like this would probably cost me $2,000 a month in interest until I paid it off. Same way with the big dealers. That's how they can afford to fill their lots up. And if you don't believe me, ask them to see the title, because they have to send the title to the bank to use for the bank to hold as collateral until it's paid off. I got the titles here to everything. I own everything we sell. No financing involved. So I'm not passing thousands of dollars in interest charges along to the customer in the form of higher prices. Again, simple economics. The more a dealership pays to operate, to stay in business, the more they have to make. That's why our prices are so much lower, because we keep operating costs to a minimum. I don't have a Starbucks coffee shop in my showroom. Look at my parking lot, guys. That's gravel. Chain link fence. I have no fancy nothing. You know, my shop is probably 40 years old that we work on RVs in. But because I operate like that, everything is paid for. Minimum operating cost means I can get away with a minimum markup with minimum overhead cost. And I'm selling stuff for $69 that other dealers are charging 10, 12, 15 grand more, because I don't have to make as much money as they do to cover my cost. Like my grandpa used to say, plus we make our dollar with 10 dimes instead of 4 quarters. That's the benefit of buying from a long-term mom and pop independent dealer like us versus a big box corporate store. Because everybody pays roughly the same for these RVs. Doesn't matter if you're a big shot RV dealer or a small mom and pop. We all pay about the same for them. It's just the difference is who's got to make the most money. We don't. Heck, we can make, you know, heck, we make 5, 6, 7, 8, 9%. We're good. We ain't got to get rich off every single one of these. We don't have to. Guys, we sold 1/5 of our inventory this week. Just this week alone, we sold 1/5 of our current inventory to customers. We sold 21 RVs. And it's, of course, we're going to close here in another hour or so, so the week will be over then. And that's normal for this time of year. 1/5. Of course, we're buying that many too. So we get stuff in every day. So keep in mind, guys, we do a ton of business for a lot our size. Come out, take a look. I got 100+ used RVs in stock, more arriving every day. You're going to love what you see. We're going to save you money. We're the only dealership around that simply lets you go out and look. You don't have to go through a sales office. You don't have to be escorted by a salesperson. Now again, guys, what we cover for the $69.9 price is we make sure and we guarantee the slide out works like it's supposed to. We guarantee the generator to run and put out electricity like it's supposed to. We test it for several hours. I've had it running for about an hour. We guarantee the refrigerator and freezer to get to operating temperature. We guarantee the roof air to get to operating temperature. We check the water systems. We guarantee that they work. There's no water leaks. In the plumbing, we make sure the water heater and the water pump works. Make sure you got good water pressure. We check the drivability and the steps. Now that's all your major stuff that can cost you the most money if they don't work. Now anything else that may not work, it's up to you to fix it or not fix it. Like that little spot on the sofa right there, that's up to you to fix it, not fix it, put a slip cover on it, just leave it like it is. It obviously didn't affect the previous owners from using it, so it shouldn't affect you either. Little stuff like that, or if there's a light bulb burnt out, or a receptacle that doesn't work, or oh gosh, I'm just thinking of little things, or maybe the awning doesn't deploy correctly, or it needs a canvas, which this one I haven't checked it yet, but you know, that's your job to do. It's your job to come here and do one of two things, guys. It's your job to come here and either inspect the remaining systems for yourself to see what works and what doesn't, or do what I highly recommend that no other dealer will say, because I'm looking out for y'all. Hire a third-party RV inspector. Best thing they ever came out with for RVs, guys, second to the internet, of course. You can have a professional, unbiased RV inspector who is just going to simply come out here on your behalf and see what works and what doesn't. Guys, you're going to work on any RV you buy, whether it's new, whether it's used, whether it's a Winnebago, an Airstream, a Thor, a Coachman, well, it don't matter the brand, the year model, the type it is, you're going to work, new or used, you're going to work on it, guys. Anybody that tells you any difference lying to you. That's the nature of owning one. It's like a houseboat. You will work on it. So at least this way with an RV inspector, you've got an idea. I mean, like we had one here the other day, they just came up with a bunch of 5-minute fixes and that was it. Of stuff that any able-bodied adult with no RV experience can fix themselves in 3 or 4 hours. And people bought it and they were absolutely ecstatic. You know, I mean, it was little stuff like battery and a remote control, or a or needed a new smoke alarm or something like that. And guys, we sell everything as is to keep it. We do this to keep our prices down. Again, minimum operating cost, so we can do a minimum profit and sell these things for the lowest price in the country. And you're going to get a nice motor home for $10,000 less than everywhere else. That's a lot of money, guys. You can do a lot of RVing with the money you're saving here, not just on the price, but on the no fees, and on the fact that we don't make money on financing if you go through our finance department. Other dealerships mark interest rates up, costing you thousands of dollars over what the bank approved you for, but you got no idea they did that. Since you're not dealing with they're dealing with their banks, not you. They already have an agreement worked out with them to keep most of that money, the profit from the extra interest rate. They're getting you approved at, say, a 6% rate, charging you 8%. And you have no idea that you actually got approved at a lower rate, but you did. They're making a ton of money off of you guys, coming and going. Upsells, we don't do any upsells here. All those upsells like warranties, gap insurance, tire and wheel packages, roadside assistance, not worth paper it's written on. If you need that stuff, buy it outside of the dealership after you buy the unit for a fraction of the cost. They're pushing that stuff because they got it marked up 4 times dealer cost. They're adding it to the RV loan, making interest, and it's got you coming and going, guys. That's how you go in, you buy a motor home that's priced advertised for $69,900 like this one, and next day you call the bank, you owe $95,000 on it. And all you're doing is sitting there scratching your head and wondering how. These guys are good. Here, easy, simple, done. No upsells, no interest rate markup, no fees, $69,900, haggle-free firm plus applicable sales tax. Come out, visit with us. Give us a call if you're interested. Thanks again for watching. Look forward to seeing you here in beautiful Ringgold, Georgia.